Hi everyone, Darren from ILM with an introduction to DrayTek's Vigor2762 series router range. There's currently 4 models to choose from with a model to suit everyone. In common, they all have a built-in VDSL2 ADSL 2.2+ modem to work with fibre to the node type internet connections or any type of ADSL in Australia. They also have gigabit LAN WAN port, which can be used either as an extra LAN port or configured to connect to any type of internet connection that requires an Ethernet WAN port, like cable internet, hybrid fibre internet, fibre to the premises, fibre to the curb, and wireless and satellite internet connections. In addition, they have 2 USB ports, which can be used to connect a supported 3G or 4G USB modem to provide a backup connection should the primary internet connection fail. I'll include a link to the supported dongle list below. There's also a list included in the router's GUI, which I'll get to later. Alternatively, the USB ports can be used to connect most standard USB printers or flash drives or USB hard drives. Just bear in mind that while the Vigor2762 series does technically have 3 different WAN connection types, it can only connect to one at a time. They can do failover, say from VDSL2 to 4G, but they can't do load balancing between multiple WANs at the same time. If you're looking for that capability, you'll need to step up to the Vigor2832 series and above, or the 2912 series and above. Also in common, they have 4 gigabit Ethernet LAN ports and an on-off switch. In the box, they have a product registration card and a quick start guide, and an Ethernet cable and a phone cable. And mounting screws if you want to mount it to the wall. On the bottom we have slots for the mounting screws to go onto. Inside they have a stateful packet inspection firewall and flexible object-based filtering rules. For filtering out objectionable internet content, they have keyword, service type and file extension blocking, plus an optional web content filtering subscription service. They all support both IPv4 and IPv6. They have 2 built-in VPN tunnels, including 2 SSL VPNs, up to 8 VLANs, which can be used to segregate parts of your network for internal security or for traffic control, and also bandwidth limiting to restrict any bandwidth hogs on your network, as well as QoS to prioritize more important traffic over others. And they're compatible with the Vigor ACS2 central management system, so they can be monitored and configured remotely. Where they differ is in their Wi-Fi and VoIP capabilities. The base 2762 model has no Wi-Fi. The Vigor 2762N has 2.4 GHz 802.11n Wi-Fi. The Vigor 2762AC model has dual band 11AC Wi-Fi. That's the AC 1200 version, which supports up to 300 megabits per second on 2.4 GHz and 867 megabits per second on 5 GHz. And the Vigor 2762 VAC model, which is the same as the 2762AC but adds VoIP. On the back we have 2 FXS ports, which can be used to connect 2 analog telephones into, or you can connect them to an analog PABX system. Don't forget to connect the antennas on the Wi-Fi models. They're detachable and they don't come fitted to reduce the chances of damage during shipping. Detachable antennas also means you can fit bigger antennas if you're looking to squeeze out a bit of extra range. They use a standard SMA connector, and the standard dual band antennas are around 2.5 dBi at 2.4 GHz and 5 dBi at 5 GHz. DrayTek have the ANT1207 antenna, which is available as a straight screw-on upgrade, which is 5 dBi at 2.4 GHz and 7 dBi at 5 GHz, as well as the ANT2520 dual band indoor directional patch antenna, which has 7.5 dBi at 2.4 GHz and 10 dBi at 5 GHz. I'll include a link below to their specs for further information. Okay, let's plug one in and have a quick look inside. I'll run with the 2762 VAC since it has everything. Okay, the router comes up on IP address 192.168.1.1. That's explained in the quick start guide if you don't remember that. And then you'll be greeted with a login page. The username and password are both admin. That takes us to our dashboard page. Here we've got a nice little graphic that shows us what's plugged in on the router. At the moment you can see I'm connected there to port 1. If I unplug that and change it to port 2 and then refresh the page. Okay, so now it's changed to port number 2. And here we've got a bunch of information including the model name, the firmware version, the uptime, the current date and so on. And over here we've got some quick access links to some of the more popular settings in the menu. Just point out up the top here we've got shortcuts. This little home page here will take us to DrayTek.com. That's a quick way to check if you're online. And here we have a GUI map. This is a very handy feature. This gives us all the features in the menu on the left hand side, but set out all at once. The next little icon here will take us to the CLI, so we can do command line functions there. This little save button will let us save the configuration, and we can log out there as well. Up the top here we've got auto log out, which will automatically log us out if we close the page, and we can also set a timer on that up to 10 minutes. Okay, then next one down we've got a bunch of wizards to get us online really quickly using the quick start wizard, VPN client server, the wireless wizard to set up our wireless settings, and a VoIP wizard to set up our VoIP. Online status, our physical connection. This will give us information about whether we're actually online. If we're online, we'll see an IP address over here for the first WAN, that's the ADSL or VDSL connection. And down the bottom here, we'll get information about the line status. So at the moment, I haven't got an ADSL line plugged into this, so it's trying to find one. It says ready, training. It's not going to find one there without anything plugged in, but once it does find an ADSL or a VDSL2 connection, we'll see up and down links as well as our signal to noise ratios. Down into WAN, we've got configuration. So if I click on WAN 1 there, that'll give us information about our general setup. The internet access, if I click on the detailed page of our first WAN there, then I can change all the details like the VPI, VCI and so on. And this is for a PPPoA or PPPoE connection. You can also choose MPoA or static or dynamic IP or an IPv6 connection. Here's where we set up our multi-PVC WAN budget here. This can automatically cut us off once we reach a certain threshold. So we can set a quota limit on whichever WAN. Once it reaches that, you can set it to shut down that interface so that it'll then use your backup interface and so on. LAN general setup, LAN 1, so we can have 2 different LANs on different subnets there. And we can set up our IPv6 LAN as well. There's our wireless hotspot web portal, set up a wireless hotspot there. Usual routing options you get in routers. NAT, this is where we do our port redirection or port forwarding. You can set up DMZ-OS, open ports, port triggering and ALG, hardware acceleration. There's our firewall setting and our object setting for our firewall and keyword filtering. If you haven't used an object-based firewall, they're a little bit complex at first, but once you get your head around them, you find they're actually quite easy to use and they're a lot more powerful, so you can do a lot more with them and have a lot more rules. Content security management. We can have different profiles there. It's linked in with the object setting. Bandwidth management, we can have sessions limit, bandwidth limit. There's our quality of service setup. Applications, here we'll get into our dynamic DNS client here. So if you want to connect to this router or something on your network using a website name rather than an IP address that you give your friends or other people who need to VPN in, that can be done here. DNS security, our scheduling, our radius server, UPnP, IGMP, Wake on LAN, our SMS or mail alert service. If any of our firewall rules get triggered, we can set it to send an alert to a mobile phone or just send an email. And there's Bonjour settings for people who use Bonjour. There's our VPN settings, certificate management, VoIP settings. There's our Wi-Fi settings. We've got the same settings for both 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi and 5 GHz Wi-Fi. So in there's all the usual stuff you'd expect to find plus a bit more. General setup, security, whether you want it to be WPA, WP, which no one uses anymore, and so on. And access control, WPS, WDS, a wireless distribution system. You can bridge 2 or more of these together, 4 I think. Advanced settings, station control, bandwidth management, app discovery, airtime fairness, bandwidth steering, roaming, station list, and under 5G we've got the same options again. There's our SSL VPN settings, our USB application settings, there's our supported modem list here, which I mentioned earlier. And under system maintenance we've got the system status, our TR069 settings, this is for the Vigor ACS2 central management system. Change the admin password, you can have a user password, configuration backup there, syslog mail alert, and reboot, firmware upgrade, and so on. Under diagnostics, we've got a bunch of diagnostic tools we can use there, and different reports we can look at. And central management, we have app, so we can manage up to 2 different wireless access points on our network from this router without having to log into each access point individually. That's a rather neat little feature. Okay. So that is DrayTek's Vigor2762 series router range. They come with a 2-year back-to-base warranty and are available now from DrayTek resellers. For more information about all DrayTek products, please check out our website at www.draytek.com.au. If you have any questions, please comment below, or you can send us an email to sales@draytek.com.au or give us a call on 02 9838 8899. Once again, I'll include a link below to a test drive of the configuration menus. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below and don't forget to subscribe. Give the bell a click too if you'd like a notification of new videos as they go up. Thanks and bye for now.